Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. Today I've got Kevin King. We're on day 2, live from SellerCon in Vegas. Kevin, how you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Recovering. I got a little bit of sleep last night, so I'm ready to go for the next few days.
Well, last night was very interesting. We went to Brandon Young's event at Top Golf, didn't we? It was pretty crazy there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of people there at Top Golf, networking. A few people were actually playing golf, but most people were sitting around drinking and networking. It's really good.
Yeah. And so what time, I ended up getting to bed about 4 this morning. What time did you get in?
You know, I got in about, I think I was asleep about 12:30. It was an early night last night for me because today I'm going to be going until about 6 a.m. So I was like, I better get a little bit of sleep so I can make it through. Yeah,
it's your big one tonight, isn't it? You've got an event here.
Well, there's quite a few events. You know, Steve's got his event. There's another one. And then mine's not really an event. It's just 18 of us have gone on together and bought one of these expensive VIP tables at the Hakkasan Club for Tiesto.
Cool. And have you found SellerCon itself? What's some of the standouts from day 1 and day 2 so far?
So, you know, we talked about this before, but I really don't come to this for the content. You know, I'll pop my head in on a few different speakers here and there to see what they had to say, but mostly it's here just for the networking. And, you know, it's not so much that the networking, I'm not going to really, it's not like I'm learning hacks and learning a whole bunch of stuff, you know, talking to people like yourself and others in the hallway. It's cultivating relationships. And so that goes a long way in this business, so that I may not walk away from here with like, here's 20 things that action steps that I can do, you know, from talking to people, but you know, developing relationships by going out and having drinks or shooting the shit in the hallway or whatever it may be. And that's where you can lean on that later when you're back at home and you're working, and you know, you got a problem with something. You know, hey, I can call Danny. You know, he knows how to put me in touch with this person, or he knows the answer to this, or whatever. That's where you get the value is for me. And then, you know, people see us on Facebook and they see the photos and everything. It looks like all we do is party. You know, everybody's just out getting drunk and staying out till late hours, and there's some truth to some of that. But you know, this lets off a lot of steam. What people don't always see in this business is the hard work that's going behind it. You know, the slaving away behind the computer and the long hours, and especially for those people that have families. And you know, later on staying up, you know, till like 3 or 4 in the morning, and then getting up and taking his kid to school in the morning, you know, the next morning a few hours later, and so it's a great chance to come and be able to do that, and you know, it's like-minded people, and the successful people can kind of afford to do the more exotic and different kinds of things, so it makes for good times.
No, I totally agree. I've always said, even like from the back in the music industry day, the best deals are done in some bar at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I stand by that. And I know, so I suppose one of the things that to take away here as well, you've got an event coming up in August. Like, the lineup on that's incredible. The only way you could have done that is by attending these type of events to meet those kind of people, right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly true. I mean, I did the $1 Billion Seller Summit back in May, and you know, Danny, you were kind of busting my chops on that a little bit, like, hey, you didn't even make a website for this event. I'm over here slaving away, you know, making this nice website. Most people do, and you just put out a PDF, and for a $5,000 event, you know, you had 90 people come. It's like, that's just crazy. But I couldn't have done that if I hadn't been out here, you know, making connections, you know, speaking at different events, and building the kind of brand. And then, yeah, I've got another one that was for successful sellers. The average in that room was $6 million, but no, not everybody's at that level. So I'm doing one in August 25th to the 28th in Austin, called AMZ Masters. And this one is for new sellers. Maybe you're just getting started, or you've launched your first couple products and it's not quite going the way you had hoped, or you're struggling a little bit, or even you're doing okay. And I'm organizing more like an academy. And so it's the event itself is not a conference. You go to conferences and you got one speaker speaking about one subject, another one speaking about another subject, kind of all over the place. Some of it's relevant, some of it's not. So I'm doing this where it builds. Every speaker is an expert in a very specific topic, and they're going to speak, and then the next speaker builds on the one before them, and it continues to build. And it's almost like a college course or something. You're going to walk away there within like an MBA in how to sell on Amazon. And so, but I wouldn't be able to do that. You know, I had 22 speakers on my list. You know, I know these people from seeing them speak and coming to events. And with a simple one email, I didn't even make a phone call, one email or one Facebook message, every single one except one guy said he has a day job still, and he couldn't get the time off. But every other one of them, within 24 hours, said, I'm in. And so I wouldn't be able to do that if I wasn't at these events, making these networks, going and having drinks with people. And I mean, that's where this all kind of comes together.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, I wouldn't have been able, if I didn't have the podcast, I don't think I could have, you know, got to that stage to bring the guys from the US to the UK. That's it, only because of that relationship there. Like you have a situation where you say, right, this is the vision, this is what we want to achieve, and they got behind it, kindly got behind what we're trying to do in the UK in terms of putting on events. So I totally agree with you, is that by going to these places, because you can do stuff on Facebook and that's great, but you never make, until you get that human connection, it's very difficult to build those level of relationships that we're talking now just over email. It's just non-existent.
And some people may think it's just, we're talking about selling courses or doing events here. Not everybody's doing that kind of thing, but or selling services, but it's also in building your business. I mean, I'm in the process right now of developing a brand new company. I just sat down with Scott Dietz yesterday. We're building this to sell in 3 years, and my percentage of that is going to be north of $15 million that I'm going to walk and put in my pocket if we achieve the goals that we're doing. But because I come to these events, I'm able to work with someone like him who has all this experience, and he's telling me stuff like, look, you need to think of it this way, and if you do this and do this and do this, you can add another $5 million to your pocket. And I'm like, I would never have thought of that. And the people that are backing it, that are partners with it, I met them in Hong Kong at an event. One's an American, one's a British guy, but they're based in Hong Kong. They met me, saw me there. We had some drinks. Then the guys are going to be doing the product development. We're designing products from scratch. This is not a, go to Canton Fair and put our label on something. And it's all with recycled plastic stuff, ocean waste. We're doing a whole line of products made out of ocean waste, unlike anything else that's out there. And it's going to be huge. And I wouldn't have been able to do that business and leverage that if I hadn't been coming to these events and meeting these people and having drinks. And so if you're out there and you're sitting behind your computer, I met a guy yesterday at the mixer here. So I've been selling on Amazon since 2010, doing like $10 million a year, and this is the first event I've ever been to. And he said he was kicking himself. He's like, man, I should have started coming to these things earlier. Because I think it could make a big difference. But he's like, I'm not the social guy. I don't like to go out and mix with people. I'm the guy sitting over here in the corner. And that's okay if you feel that way, but at least you go to smaller events where it's not so intimidating and where you are going to meet all the people, because the connections you make are invaluable. Yeah. And it's probably the number one thing you can do to increase your success, or chances of success in any type of business, whether it's Amazon or any other entrepreneurial type of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I just had a chat with Jamie Davidson, does 100 million plus, and he said, like, by his own admission, he hasn't gone out to enough events. I mean, he's at 100 million, he doesn't, it's like, what do you give someone that does that? But he's still got the hunger and desire to go out, and he sees the importance of networking, and now he's built that more into the business. They didn't build that business of networking initially. They're now doing the networking now, which is kind of interesting to get to that stage, but still find it a necessary forward step of their business.
Yeah, I mean, it's true, and it's almost like a protection. He's been able to build it to 100 million, but now with everything that's going on, you need to know people. There's things happening, and it's almost he needs it almost. It's going to help him grow, but also it gives him a layer of security and protection and maintaining what they're doing.
Yeah, makes sense. Okay, let's wrap there. Is there anything you want to add before we go?
No, it's been having a great time here, and looking forward to what's coming up, and looking forward to seeing some of you guys at the next Seller Sessions live, or make sure if you haven't got your tickets for that. I know Danny puts on a great show over there, and next one's I think next May, right? May
9th.
Yeah. May 9th of next year. Make sure you put that on your calendars and watch for when that goes out, and there'll be some other events, and hope to see you at either that or something else that's out there.
Sounds good. Thanks, Kevin. Take care.